The two-step trick to effective viral marketing. I know that I have mentioned this in passing in the previous video, but to drive home the point, I'm going to fully define the key steps you need to take to conduct truly effective viral marketing campaigns. These viral marketing campaigns will work not just on your social media accounts, but also on your blog, your forum postings, and the other online marketing efforts you take. Step number 1, find what's hot. The first thing that you need to do is find what's hot on the internet. There are tons of pictures, links, picture quotes, and videos going viral all the time. People can't help but share this material. Find hot stuff. Now, after you have found this material, make sure that you filter them based on how near or how closely related they are to your target niche. For example, if you are promoting a plumbing service company in Central Florida, you can share all the funny dogs riding scooters videos you want. You might even get a lot of traffic to your page. But guess what? You probably are not going to book too many new appointments for your client using these videos. You can get a lot of eyeballs, but they are the wrong ones. Why? The videos that you reshared and marketed are not near enough or closely related enough to your target niche. Niches are people who share certain problems. These are people who are just looking for certain common solutions. Always keep that in mind. Just because you get a lot of traffic, it really doesn't mean much. Step number 2, share viral content to drive conversions. It's really important to understand why you are doing viral marketing in the first place. This is where a lot of people trip up. They really do. Why? They focus on raw numbers. They focus on getting as many clicks to their target site as possible. Now, don't get me wrong, traffic is good, but it has to be the right kind of traffic. If I had to choose between 1 million random visitors or 1,000 highly targeted visitors, I would take the latter all day, every day. What's the point of getting 1 million visitors when only 1 in a million actually converts into a paying customer? Compare that with getting 1,000 qualified visitors and seeing 200, 300, or even 500 of them turning into actual paying customers. This is not rocket science. It should be quite obvious. So understand how this works and understand what your focus should be on. It isn't about traffic. It's something more. It's all about driving conversions. You need to get the right people to the right webpage so they can do something that puts more dollars in your bank account. That's the bottom line. That should be your goal. This is why it's really important to share viral content to drive conversions. You're not driving traffic. You're not trying to maximize visibility. You're trying to drive conversions. How do you do this? Share the material on your blog. Reshare your blog's link on social media. Use these to pull traffic to your blog. You then convert this traffic into potential sales by getting these visitors to sign up for your newsletter. This is how you play the game to win. You convert these visitors through an internal blog page. When they click on a link and they end up on an engaging page of content, they may like your content so much that they click on a link to get notified of your updates. That's how you hook them. Or you give them a freebie like some sort of consumer guide. For example, if your blog sells immigration legal services, you may want to give away a free booklet that clues people in on how to qualify to get to the United States on a tourist visa with minimal hassles. Whatever you do, get people to sign up for your mailing list because after they've signed up, you can send them updates which can either upsell them to affiliate products or get them to buy your own products. The possibilities are limitless. It is your email list that actually does the hard work of converting these people. They might not read one update, but if they check out an update and they like a link, you can turn that traffic into a potential sale. That's how powerful a mailing list is. Your whole viral marketing campaign should be focused on driving conversions to your newsletter. The more people you have on your newsletter and the higher the quality of your updates, the more money you stand to make later on. How do you find hot content? Now that you have a clear idea of the two-step trick to effective viral marketing, how do you pull off step number 1? Well, there are 2 ways to do it. You can take the hard way or you can take the shortcut. Just so you have a clear understanding of the manual filtering process involved, I'm going to describe these 2 options in detail. First, you can try to do things manually. You can get highly targeted content through this labor-intensive method. The first thing that you need to do is go to the Google Keyword Planner tool. If you don't know what that is, sign up to Google Ads and click on their Tools link and you will be shown a menu that lists the Google Keyword Planner tool. Click on that tool. Enter a few keywords directly related to your niche. Keep doing this and you will see tons of related keywords. Once you have this massive list, filter them based on their accuracy or specificity to your niche. Once you have cleaned up your keyword list, use these on Facebook or Twitter to search for social media accounts that target these keywords. Of course, you're going to only consider social media accounts of people, organizations, or businesses who are truly in your niche. You can tell by the way they describe themselves whether they are in your target niche. Keep filtering these accounts. At the end of this long process, you should have a nice, clean list of social media accounts of your niche-specific competitors. These accounts can be on Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. The longer your list, the better. Find and poach your competitors' or niche fans' viral content. Please note that when you actually click through the social media accounts of people and organizations in your niche, you will quickly discover that there really are two types of accounts, competitors and fans. I'm not even going to describe competitors because this is self-explanatory. Fan accounts are non-commercial accounts started by people who are just emotionally invested in your niche. For example, if you are promoting dog training online courses, you might be able to retrieve a large list of puppy training social media accounts. When you look at their content, it's obvious that they're not really doing this for money. They're just sharing their interests or enthusiasm. These are fan accounts. You need to gather a big list of these as well. Once you have gotten a massive list of niche-specific social media accounts, go through all their content. Take a look at how many times their content has been reshared or retweeted. Pay attention to pictures, videos, interesting links, picture quotes, or any other type of media. As you can probably tell, this process is not easy. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know what to look for. You also have to have a lot of time. Doing things by hand can burn up a lot of time. The shortcut, buzzsumo.com. If you don't have the time or patience to find all of your niche competitors and niche fans' social media accounts and poach their content, use BuzzSumo. This online tool will scour the major social media platforms for content that is directly related to your niche keywords. Make sure that you save the niche keywords that you got from the Google Keyword Planner tool and use them at BuzzSumo. You will see a lot of content that has been filtered already based on certain social signals like retweets or shares. BuzzSumo is a handy tool because it saves you a tremendous amount of time, effort, and frustration. Get your links ready. Once you have filtered your competitors' most viral pieces of content, copy their URLs and put them in an Excel sheet. On the right side, try to find the description for that piece of content. Usually, when you come across viral content on a social media platform, there's a short description or even a title. Use those materials. Remember to protect yourself when sharing others' content. I wish I could tell you that you can flat out recycle everybody's content without any legal problems. Of course, if I were to say that to you, I would be lying. I would be putting you in harm's way. Don't do that. If you're going to be curating tried and proven viral content, you have to protect yourself legally. How do you do this? The power of CTTO. What does CTTO stand for? It stands for credit to the owner. When you post this, you are saying to the world that you don't own the content and that you are attributing ownership to the person who actually owns the content. Now, understand that when people post CTTO, they don't just do it in passing. The ones who do this right will link to the source. For example, if you are posting a funny cat video and it turns out that it was a video originally made popular by a person with a personal account, include their personal account link in your curated post. Put CTTO and then link to that person. This way, people would know that that person is the owner. You are just curating this content. This is a very important part of getting legal protection. You have to give proper attribution. You cannot give the impression that you created this content yourself. Make sure to comment on the content. Under U.S. copyright law, as well as Canadian intellectual property law, if you use other people's protected intellectual property, you can gain some protection for lawsuits when you do certain things. First of all, your sharing of the content must have some sort of commentary. Either you're sharing it for news value or you're sharing it to foster conversation. This is how the fair use doctrine works. It is all about opening up copyright law to allow for genuine discussion. This way, when you comment, you are triggering the fair use doctrine. Now, I'm not saying that your comment should be very short and shallow. That's probably not going to protect you. If you are going to be curating other people's viral content, Your comment must be content in and of itself. It must be that useful. It must have some sort of impact, and it almost must add value to the content that you are curating. You can't just say, check this out, or haha, funny. That's not going to work. Use this tremendous opportunity to talk about your niche. Use this opportunity to highlight your expertise and level of authority in your niche. This way, you can kill two birds with one stone. On the one hand, you qualify the curated content under the fair use doctrine. This makes it harder for the owner of the content to sue you for copyright infringement. Remember, under international intellectual property law, the only person who has a right to copy and distribute the copies of his or her original work is the content creator. Alternatively, that person may assign those rights to another person. Those are the only people who have legal rights under copyright law. The fair use doctrine makes certain exceptions in certain contexts regarding that protection. This way, you can freely share somebody's content, provided that you are adding commentary, adding value, or you are positioning it to foster discussion. It is also important to make sure that the content that you are sharing is not the whole content. For example, you are probably going to run into trouble if you share a complete movie that somebody else produces. But if you're going to share snippets of the video or screenshots like the stuff that you see on BuzzFeed, you probably will be okay. You have to look at how much of the content you are quoting or sampling. If you use the whole content, then you may be in trouble. It is also important that you link to the source. This way, they benefit from your curation. This creates a win-win situation. In most cases, third-party content producers really don't mind. In fact, they would love to encourage you. Why? The more you spread their content, the more traffic they get. The more you popularize their content, the stronger their brand becomes. You're doing them a big favor. Things get a little dicey when you're sharing snippets of popular movies or TV shows. That's when things can get a little touchy. Do yourself a big favor and make sure that there is commentary with the content that you are curating. Make sure that you use the acronym CTTO to protect yourself. Also, if you get any kind of complaint or notification from the rights owner, pull the curated content down. It's not worth it. You don't want to blow all the cash that you have managed to build up creating your own distinct online brand because you don't want to let go of curated content. If you're doing this right, you should have a lot of curated materials anyway. You're not really losing much if the rights owner tells you to pull down a few posts on your social media accounts. When you get such notifications, make sure you act on them promptly. Don't sit on them. Don't blow them off. You're just going to make things harder on yourself if they decide to sue you. Make no mistake, intellectual property right law is no joke. There are fines that you can face, and you might even get jail time. It can get that bad. So do yourself a big favor and make sure you protect yourself adequately when sharing other people's content. Now, please understand that what makes this really murky is the fact that when content goes viral on the internet, it usually changes hands so many times. In fact, this may have happened so much that you really don't know who the real owner is. You really don't know who created that content in the first place. Do yourself a big favor and make sure that you follow the rules above and you are very responsive to take down notices or notifications.